the power of energy in relationships, why a man can't forget a woman's presence, the unseen bond between two souls. Every relationship is more than just words, actions, and memories. It is an energetic exchange. The connection between two people exists beyond the surface, forming an invisible thread that binds their souls together. And when that bond is broken, its absence is felt on a deep, almost indescribable level. For a man, missing a woman isn't just about the physical presence she once had in his life. It's about the way her energy shaped him, uplifted him, and transformed his everyday experience. It's the realization that something intangible, yet powerful, has been lost, and no one else seems to bring that same vibrancy into his world. This is the moment he understands that her energy wasn't just a presence in his life. It was an influence that shaped his very being. The science of energy and emotion in love. Joe Dispenza's work on neuroscience and quantum energy offers a profound explanation for why some people leave an unforgettable imprint on our hearts. According to his research, our emotions create electromagnetic fields that influence not only our thoughts and behaviors, but also the people around us. Love, joy, and deep emotional bonds operate at a higher vibrational frequency, leaving a lasting imprint on those who experience them. When a woman shares her love, support, and positive energy with a man, she influences his emotional state on a subconscious level. Her presence provides him with stability, clarity, and inspiration, elements he may not even recognize at the moment. But the moment she is gone, the shift in his energetic field becomes undeniable. Her laughter, her kindness, the way she believed in him. These aren't just fleeting memories, they are embedded frequencies that once resonated within him. Now, in her absence, the contrast is overwhelming. Why he can't replace her energy. The modern world often treats relationships as interchangeable. With dating apps and social media, it seems easy to move from one person to another. But what happens when a man realizes that no one else carries the same essence? It's not just about attraction or chemistry, it's about resonance. A man misses a woman when he discovers that her presence in his life wasn't just about companionship, it was about alignment. She matched his energy in a way that others do not. And when he tries to find someone else, he quickly realizes that attraction alone isn't enough. True connection is about frequency. He finds himself reminiscing about the way she understood him without words, the way she saw his potential when he doubted himself, the way she brought peace into his chaotic world. And now, in her absence, the void is deepening. The emotional imprint of presence. Emotions create neural pathways. When two people share deep emotions, their brains literally rewire to include the presence of the other. This is why relationships that carry profound emotional weight become so hard to forget. Every time he felt safe with her, every moment she inspired him, every time she supported him through his struggles, those experiences created deep emotional pathways in his brain. Even if time passes, those neural imprints remain, making it difficult for him to truly move on. In Joe Dispenza's research, he explains how memories are not just stored mentally, but energetically. The emotions associated with certain memories keep them alive, making it impossible to simply forget someone whose energy changed us. The power of feminine energy in a man's life. Feminine energy is one of the most transformative forces in the world. It is nurturing, intuitive, and deeply connected to emotion and creativity. When a woman embodies her true, authentic energy, she becomes a force of nature, not just in her own life, but in the lives of those around her. A man who has experienced a deep connection with a woman carrying such energy knows the difference between a surface-level relationship and a truly transformational one. Her ability to see beyond his fears, to nurture his dreams, and to hold space for his emotions creates a sanctuary for him, a place where he can be his truest self. And once he has experienced this kind of energy, it's almost impossible to settle for less. The void he can't fill the moment she is gone, something shifts within him. His world feels different, less vibrant, less inspiring. He might not be able to put it into words, but he knows something important is missing. The places they visited together feel empty. The conversations they had replay in his mind, but now without the warmth of her presence. He finds himself searching for something, someone who can bring back that same energy. But no matter how many new faces he meets, the connection doesn't feel the same. Because it isn't just about meeting someone new, it's about meeting someone whose energy resonates at the same frequency. And when a woman carries a unique, unforgettable essence, she becomes irreplaceable. The unspoken realization: at first, he might try to distract himself. He tells himself it's just another breakup, just another chapter closing. But deep down, something within him knows the truth. She wasn't just another chapter. She was part of his foundation. He starts to notice how much she influenced his mindset, his ambitions, his sense of self. Maybe she was the one who encouraged him to chase a dream he had abandoned. Maybe she was the one who helped him see his worth when he doubted himself. Maybe she was the one who made him feel, for the first time, truly understood. And that kind of connection doesn't just fade. Can he ever move on? Healing from a deep emotional connection is not about forgetting, it's about integration. The truth is, he will never forget her because she became part of who he is. But with time, he may come to understand that the greatest gift she gave him wasn't her presence. It was the version of himself she helped him discover. A powerful woman's energy doesn't just stay with a man for a moment. It changes him forever. And whether he realizes it now or years later, one truth remains: he will always miss her, not just for who she was, but for who he became in her presence. Her energy was more than just comfort. It was transformation. In her presence, he felt a version of himself that he didn't even know existed before. She awakened parts of him that had remained dormant, locked away under layers of conditioning, distractions, and fears. She didn't force him to change. Rather, she created a space where he could rise, where he could meet the best version of himself without shame or resistance. At first, he may not fully understand why her absence feels so profound. He might attribute it to loneliness, habit, or even nostalgia. But the truth runs deeper. He doesn't just miss her company. He misses the way he felt around her. The way she looked at him with unwavering belief in his potential. The way she spoke to him not just in words but in energy, conveying a deep knowing that he was capable of more. And now, without that reflection, he begins to question who he truly is without her. The imprint of energy and emotion, energy never lies. Every interaction, every shared moment, every gaze exchanged left an imprint, an energetic signature that cannot be erased or replicated. He tries to fill the space she left behind, but something feels off, because it's not just about finding someone new. It's about the energy exchange that was once so effortlessly aligned. Her presence wasn't loud, nor did it demand attention. It was the quiet kind of power, the one that made things feel steady, effortless, and safe. And that safety was not just external. It was something internal that he learned to cultivate through her. She made him feel safe in his own emotions, in his own vulnerability, in his own dreams. Now, in her absence, he starts to understand how much of that safety was rooted in her unwavering belief in him. He remembers how she would challenge him, not in a confrontational way, but in a way that inspired growth. She didn't allow him to settle for mediocrity, not because she was dissatisfied with him, but because she saw beyond his limitations. She saw the version of him that he was capable of becoming, and in her energy, he began to believe in that version too. The science of energetic resonance, DAR. Joe Dispenza explains that our electromagnetic field, the energy we emit, directly interacts with those around us. When two people share a deep connection, their heart rhythms synchronize, their nervous systems attune, and their energetic frequencies align. This isn't just poetic, it's science. When he was with her, their frequencies were in harmony. His energy expanded in her presence, his stress levels dropped, and his mind became more open to possibility. This wasn't because she did anything external to fix him. She simply existed in a state of coherence, and that coherence influenced his own state of being. Now, without her, he feels the shift. His nervous system senses the void. The regulated, balanced energy he had grown accustomed to is now replaced with a sense of dissonance. It's not that he can't find peace within himself, but the contrast between her presence and her absence is stark. He may distract himself, throw himself into work, new relationships, or external pleasures. But deep down, there's a knowing. He may not be able to articulate it, but he feels it. His energy is no longer the same. What he learns in her absence at first, he resists the lessons. He tries to minimize the impact she had on him, telling himself that he can move on, that what they shared was just a chapter. But the more he denies it, the more the realization grows: her presence not just an experience. It was an awakening. And so, he starts to reflect, not just on her, but on himself. He begins to ask the questions he never considered before it: then who am I without her reflection? Then have I truly internalized the growth she inspired, or was I only able to access it through her energy? The how do I cultivate that same expansion within myself? At first, it stings. But then something shifts. He starts to see her absence not as a loss, but as a call to integrate everything she awakened within him. She was never meant to be his crutch. She was meant to be his mirror. And now, without that mirror, he must find that reflection within himself. Healing and integration, becoming whole without her. Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches that true transformation happens when we embody a new state of being, independent of external conditions. This means that while she may have initiated his awakening, his growth does not have to end with her absence. He realizes that if he truly valued what she brought into his life, the best way to honor it is by continuing the work. So, he begins to meditation and mindfulness. He learns to quiet the noise, to tune into his own energy, to cultivate inner balance without needing external validation. Then self-reflection, he revisits the moments when she challenged him, not with regret, but with gratitude, understanding that those lessons were never about her. They were about his own expansion. The emotional regulation, he starts practicing presence, learning how to hold space for himself the way she once did. An energetic awareness, he becomes conscious of the frequencies he emits, understanding that his own coherence is what will determine the quality of his relationships moving forward. At some point, the longing shifts. It doesn't disappear. It evolves. It transforms from a painful yearning into a deep gratitude. He no longer needs to get her back to feel whole, because he finally understands she was never the source of his power. She was the catalyst that revealed it. The final realization, she changed him forever, and whether or not life brings them back together, one thing remains certain: he will never be the same. She left him with more than memories. She left him with a new understanding of himself, of love, of connection, and of energy. And while he may miss her, he now carries a piece of her with him. Not just in thought, but in the very way he moves through the world. And that, more than anything, is the mark of a woman whose presence transcends time.